So I've been screaming from the rooftops in recent videos as I look at the economic and geopolitical landscape that we are going to be facing a tax crisis in the United States. For those of us that are in as taxpayers, in the working class, in the middle class, there's going to be a tax crisis on a municipal level, state level, and a federal level. I am adamant about that because if you look at the overall economic circumstances, our federal government and the Federal Reserve are fighting a lot of battles at one time. And we are already in a negative situation as far as the revenue that the government brings in from taxes and the expenditures and the debt that's already there. The government's already in the hole. When you deal with the fact that we have inflation going on and there's monetary policy changes around that, and the effects of that, that's actually decreasing tax revenue because again, it's cooling down the economy. The Federal Reserve increasing interest rate and slowing down the economy reduces tax revenue. When you look at the fact that we also have, the US dollar is struggling. You have wars going on around the world. You have the government spending a ton of money on infrastructure bill and, debt relief and all kind of other stuff that's going on. Whatever side of the political spectrum you're on is irrelevant. At the end of the day, we're all likely going to be facing massive tax bills as our local, state, and federal government struggles to keep our overall economy going and our quality of life going. That having been said, that has pushed me to say one of the most powerful things you can do right now is start or expand a business. You need to start a legitimate business because the tax code is going to be your treasure map going forward. I am adamant about that as well. You are not going to be able to survive the upcoming tax, devastation, whatever you want to call it, coming down the line if you don't have the proper structures in place and you're not functioning in the economy in the best place possible. And that's as a business owner and an investor. You have to be in those areas. It does not mean you cannot be a W-2 employee. I am not saying. I'm actually pro-job when it comes to financial stability. If you're not already in a certain place, I am pro-job because it's the financial system and the lending area and the banking system favors W-2 workers in those capacities. So for in order you to scale up your credit, scale up your job income to get access to lending products and credit, you need a stable income, and a W-2 job is as stable as it gets. So I am not opposed to that, but you need to develop a business on the side, or if you have an existing business and you haven't legitimized it, you need to scale it up. This video is about clarifying, where you should start if you're starting from scratch, or if you're kind of already in motion, but you still haven't decided how you need to focus on whether you need to be setting up all of the paperwork and infrastructure for the business, or if you should be actively working the business first and focusing there and getting proof of concept and then worrying about the paperwork and the infrastructure later. That's more what this video is intended to clarify. What's more important? What's the primary rather? They're both very important, but what is the primary you should be focusing on? This was actually inspired by my, videographer, my editor. Shout out to him, Jake Walker. I want to actually give him a personal shout out. Hopefully he's watching this video, but this actually was a conversation inspired by him, who himself is an entrepreneur and has been adamant in his opinion that he rather pursue proof of concept in the business, generating revenue and proving that there's a market out there for him to tap into. I, on the other hand, come from a background as a professional banker and also starting businesses in the past that I prefer, or I see it as more valuable to establish the business infrastructure wise, get your paperwork in order, register with the state, get bank accounts set up, maybe even work on funding if you can get access to that quickly, because that's all the infrastructure to the survival of the business and the growth of the business. But we had a great conversation and inspired this video. That's what we're going to dive into a little bit in this video today. This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity, the longest intro ever. But again, to all my pioneers, welcome back. To all my new viewers, welcome in. We're going to get straight into it. So the answer to this question is both are vitally important, and it's very subjective. My videographer, my editor, my support team for my overall, media content, he was able to go out and start to generate revenue from a side hustle point of view, or, without setting up a full entity, kind of a solopreneur, if you want to say. He was able to go out and do that. And many of you are in that position. You are hairdressers, barbers, lawn care people, plumbers, electricians, you're tradesmen. You guys come from a diverse background. You're in tech, whatever the case may be. You are literally solopreneurs already that have made money and have proven that there's a space in the marketplace for you. And you may not have run into the challenges of not having a bank account yet, not having your paperwork in order yet, for it to matter that much to you yet. On the flip side of that, I work as a banker. I work as a financial services professional. And the second that you start to deal with your taxes, the second that you need to start being more efficient on how you're taking payments, the second that you decide you need to go buy a home and you need a home loan and you need proof of income, the second you need credit for your business to grow or expand as an opportunity for you to do so, and you don't have that infrastructure in place, then you could be working that business for years, making tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You are going to be a ghost to the financial system. And so I've experienced it from that end. I've had to turn around and watch people get declined for a lot of different loans and products, whether that be credit cards, home loan, auto loans, business-related loans and business credit, things of that nature, because they cannot prove the legitimacy of their business in the eyes of the banking system. So I have been a huge proponent that you ideally want to work both at the same time. And I agree with him to an extent. You definitely need to make sure that you're not wasting the money and time setting up the infrastructure for a business you can't even prove is going to make money and has a place in the marketplace. Very true. I support that theory. So much so that I believe that they should work in tandem with each other. You have to challenge yourself and do the work enough to do both. If you're not already in motion with your business, if you are, then I adamantly, vehemently believe that you need to get your paperwork in order. Register with your state, pick the proper entity, get your EIN number, set up a legitimate business bank account. If it's a business that requires or could benefit from it, set up a website, maybe even get a business phone number. These are going to be tedious costs, but at the end of the day, all of these things will legitimize you as a business. And if you have income coming in, set up payroll. Once you have the business entity at play and you have a legitimate business bank account, set up payroll through a legitimate payroll provider, ADP, Gusto, so on. Set up payroll, because that is going to clean up your income, clean it up for the tax time, and allow you to look legitimate as a borrower when it's time for you to go out for business credit, business funding, home loans, whatever the case may be. You want to have legitimate paperwork in order, showing that you run a legitimate business. And even if you're just getting hundreds of dollars a month, you may only be on a side hustle level. You still need to legitimize yourself. And I still believe payroll is vital to that. In doing so, going to a lender or a banker with Zelles, Cash Apps is difficult to prove. It's not neat. Bankers and lenders are not comfortable with it. They're not there yet. It can take years before they find a way to integrate that into their lending process and take it at face value. They're going to want months and months of bank statements, and they're going to pry and fine-tooth comb through everything you have going on, because those are not payroll services. They're transfer services. They're intended for peer-to-peer transfers. It's not intended to legitimize you as a business owner receiving income. I just watched a gentleman who is a hairstylist get denied get all the way through the home loan process, or at least up to a certain part, and fall apart in underwriting because they can't prove their income because it's all Cash App, Zelle, and Venmo. Banks and lenders are not ready for that yet. They're just not. So you need to get payroll together. You need to legitimize yourself, but you do need to do that in the process of demonstrating that you have proof of concept, that you're going to make money, that you're going to be able to consistently run an operation, not out of your back pocket, but through payment in the marketplace, clients, customers, clientele, people who are in demand for your products or services. So I want to bring that to you because I believe starting a business is vital as it's ever been right now. And I don't mean just starting it to start one, throwing it on the shelf, or, balling it up, whatever. I mean a legitimate, find out what skills, passions you have, compare it to the marketplace, put it to work and start generating an income for yourself on the side. Not just for the secondary income, but because I'm telling you right now, you're going to need tax shelter. It's going to get challenging in our financial system in the coming years. No matter who's president, no matter who's the governor of your state, they're going to need the revenue from somewhere. I'm telling you, it's getting expensive to run this country the way we're running it. And they're going to get it from somewhere. And it's not likely going to come from them. It's going to come from us. So get your ducks in a row, get your business entity in order, get your paperwork in order, your business bank account, and get payroll set up. You'll thank me later, I assure you. To all my pioneers out there, I want you to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this topic. Where are you with your business? Where are you with your business bank account? What proof of concept, your business funding? Let me know exactly where you are, what you're working on, how that's going for you, and how I can help you in this process. Other than that, like the video, subscribe. Links are in this description to some great lenders, credit card opportunities. Welcome bonuses will be quite sweet because they're referral bonuses from me, and they will support this channel without you having to spend a dime. It's a win-win. So I want you to go in the description below if you're looking to support the channel further than liking the video and your viewership and subscribing. Other than that, to all my pioneers out there, as always, I want you to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.
This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity Network, a channel dedicated to helping you increase your net worth through relationship banking, maximizing your borrowing capacity, the proper use of life insurance, and the ownership of real estate. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading content on a daily basis to help you customize your blueprint for prosperity.